Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, and welcome. I don't know what I was thinking there. It's Nurse Richard, the Wax Wizard. Thank you for joining me. There's three ears in this. The first ear is a patient who you've probably seen before. If you've seen a lot of my videos, I think she's appeared in at least 2 or 3 because she comes every, I want to say 4 or 5 months, there or thereabouts. Always got a chronically inflamed, irritated ear, and there's quite an extensive history in both her ears. Her other one was all right, so that wasn't in this video. But what she's had in this one is she's got a false fundus. If you don't know what that is, I'll briefly explain it. I'm not going to blind you with the science of it, because I'll bore myself, never mind you. And so she had lots of ear infections when she was younger, and I think she also had some perforations. She had attempts at skin grafts to repeal? That's a new word. To repair the perforation in this ear, and I think they tried twice, and it failed both times. And it carried on getting infected. And what's happened is it's grown this layer in front of everything and completely closed off the ear canal. It's a false fundus. I can describe it. When you get an infection or trauma, you can get this growth of granulation tissue, fibrous tissue, and it can basically just grow in and just cover the whole ear canal. So it causes a fair amount of hearing loss. She does hear a bit through here, not brilliantly, but she does hear a bit through here. And it can't shed its skin very well at all in this ear, and because it's always getting chronically inflamed, borderline infected as well. Every now and then she does need a spray to get on top of it. I'll be honest, even when she does use the spray to help calm down that inflammation, it doesn't really do much, to be honest. It's kind of always been an issue. I think her immune system's probably not great either. She has some other comorbidities as well. So it's always really itchy, and she does find it helps quite a lot. We just strip it away as much as we can. Anyway, every time she comes, I've seen it worse than this. This was by far not as bad as I've seen it in the past. If you do want to find one of the old videos, it's probably called false fundus. I'll call this one something different, just so we know it's not the same thing. Anyway, what's really odd about this one is, in one specific area, you can probably already see it in the top right, it's just get this layer of skin that's thicker than the rest. And I don't know why it is in that area, I really don't. I wish I did know, then we could try and stop it happening. But it just gets this one area of dead skin keratin in this top right corner, and it's just always thicker than everywhere else. Whether it's a bit bumpier there, I don't know. Really don't know. Sometimes it's ready to come away, sometimes it's not. Today it was half ready to come away, so the majority of it came away, and I tried to peel the last bit of it, and it's just looking a little bit unhappy underneath it, a little bit red. So if something starts to get a bit red when you peel it away, that means you're likely causing some bleeding, which you don't want to do if you can avoid it. So it just means that the blood vessels are really close to the surface, and by tearing something off it, you can make them burst and bleed, and nobody wants blood in their ear or anywhere, to be honest. Well, you want it inside your body, but you don't want it falling out of anywhere it shouldn't be, i.e. your veins and your arteries. So you'll see, just after I get this, I think we will have a go. It's all with the fine-end tube, this. There's no way you can peel this kind of stuff without using the fine-end tube. It always is quite... No, I'm not going to get it just yet. I'm just faffing about on the outer part of the ear first. The second 2 ears I've got in this from the same patient, both very different looking ears as well. Really odd how one looks a certain way and the other one looks different than that. I'll explain it in a little bit of detail. You're never going to get masses and masses of detail from me on that. The reason why is because there's loads of other ear channels out there, and there's some of them who explain these kind of things a lot better than I can. So that's why I like to do something a little bit different and talk about other stuff sometimes, which is what I'm going to do shortly. I'm going to tell you about what we've got planned this weekend. So here's this area of thickened skin on this false fundus. And you'll see, yeah, it's really odd, but it's in the exact same place, and it looks kind of like... I did have a removal called, I want to say, flying saucer. Just this really thin disc of dead skin. And this came away, and it looks just like one of those did. It's really bizarre. You'll see, is it just as I lift it up and hold it up. So look at that, just a perfect tiny little disc. It is tiny as well, and you can see there's still a little bit there, and this is what I was talking about before. Yes, I can try and grab that. If it comes away easily, great. If it doesn't, then it's not ready, and just as I moved it slightly to the left there, I can see a tiny little red mark. Can you see that? So that's the reason why I'm not going to carry on peeling that. There's very little, if not no benefit to it at all anyway. Nice if it came, but it's really not the end of the world if it doesn't. So I'll leave that there for now. And these second two ears, one of them, they're both full of skin, but one of them looks really pale and really white, as you can see here. Now this is the one that she had more of a problem with than the other one. She didn't notice the other one had too much of a problem, and there could be a couple of things going on here. I don't think there's an ear infection in here, and I can often explain why you get this freshly shed white skin. It could have been overuse of drops, or I got a lot of water in there, just made it really soggy. Because I believe there is some drops can kind of bleach the skin a little bit and make it look really pale. Very small ear as well, this. And if I remember rightly, she was extremely twitchy, which it looks like I'm kind of jiggling about a bit. It's because it was making a fair amount of noise. You might be able to hear some of the sounds of it. But she was a little bit jumpy. When the patient's a bit jumpy, it makes you a bit on edge as well. It means you've got to be ready to come out of someone's ear as quick as you can. So at various points, I think I do have to come away quickly, if it's the one I'm thinking of. So this is, what day is it today? It's a Friday today, which usually means one thing in our house. It means chippy tea. I'm not having a chippy tea today. You're wondering what that is? It's fish and chips. It's a tradition around here, and a few parts of the UK, that you go to the fish and chip shop on a Friday night. And so we're not doing that today because we're going out tonight. And it's one of my favourite nights of the year. It is the night of the year where we have our rugby team's presentation evening. Always good fun. If those of you don't know, rugby plays a large part of my spare time. I do play of a fashion still in a veterans team, shall we say. Don't play with the kids anymore, but you can still carry on playing. Excuse me, a version of it when you're a little older with some modified rules. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm still getting over something, or I've got another cold on top of the one that I've just got rid of. Anyway, so yeah, tonight, every year we have an annual awards ceremony for our rugby team, because I coach a rugby team as well. I didn't fail to mention that before. So I coach a team, and they're under 13s now. So they're turning into young men, actually. Most of them are like, I'm looking up at them like this. And so every year, as a well done for an amazing year, which they always do amazing. They're a very good team. They're always at the top end of the very highest division that they can be in. Don't lose many at all. Won some trophies. So each year we put on a big awards ceremony. Get some music going and party games, and hand out trophies, medals, awards, speeches. We get well, they're not celebrities, but they are to them. We get some professional rugby players to come and hand out their awards as well, and we do like a season highlight reel that will show on the big screen, which always goes down well. And so that's one of our favourite nights of the year. Look at this peeling here. Really enjoyed this one. One of our favourite nights of the year. And a lot of it is to raise funds as well. to because sports running a sports team isn't cheap. A lot of sports will make parents pay for things themselves. Parents do pay for some things, insurance, little things like that. But when it comes to getting money for kit and whatever, we don't make the parents pay. We do fundraising for it. So we have a lot of party games. So we make money from throwing this party, selling tickets. But we also party games is quite a big thing, and they're always entertaining. We always make a few quid from this. The most popular ones is usually a coin toss, a pitch and toss. If you've not heard of that, the long and short of it is, it's a big wooden dance floor, and then you'll put a giant bottle of booze on the other end of it, and then a start line on the opposite end of the dance floor, and you basically get the kids, or the adults, usually the adults who end up paying for it all, obviously, will get down on the knees, put the finger on the coin, and try and slide the coin all the way along the wooden dance floor. And after about 10-15 minutes, whoever's got their coin nearest to it gets to win that giant bottle of booze. We're going to do the same thing with sweets as well, for the kids, so they can win something as well. But it's so competitive, they end up mithering the parents. Dad gives a quid. Dad gives a quid. Mum, give me a coin. I've got to get this. I've got to win, and you end up making a fair amount of money from that. So we're doing that as well as a bit of bingo. It's not a presentation or a party night with a bit of bingo. It's very popular around here. In the north of England is a game of bingo, and again you make a few quid from it. I'll probably end up calling that legs 11, 6 and 9, anyway, up way and all that. You've probably no idea what I'm talking about. Look up bingo calls. That's usually, I remember them all from growing up. So I used to play in a lot of clubs where they had bingo on all the time. Another good one is heads and tails, where you get everyone standing on the dance floor, then the announcer, as myself or one of the coaches will do it. You have a coin, and you ask people heads or tails. So they've got to put their hands on the head or hands on the tails, i.e. the backside, and you flip a coin and you shout what it is, whether it's heads, whether it's tails. If it's heads, and everyone who's got the hands on the head, they're still in the game. So roughly about half of the people get eliminated every time, So if they all pay a couple of quid for that, then you hand out the winner a tenner, and you've made a few quid again. Anyway, that's what we're doing tonight anyway. And I'll probably also drink my own body weight in beer as well. So, after we've raised all the money anyway. But life's too short not to have a bit of a party every now and then. It's rare we get out, have a good time and drink ourselves silly, but once a year is okay. So I'm not looking forward to tomorrow morning. Anyway, all being well, I'll be back in here on Monday. Hopefully I've made it home in one piece. I'm sure it will. It's like a homing pigeon, me, even when I've had a couple of beers. I always find my way back. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I know I did ramble on about other stuff, but I just wanted to tell you what we were up to this weekend. And if you did like the video, please like it, comment on it. If you do anything similar like this, if you have any sports teams and they have any award ceremonies, presentation nights, tell me about yours and what you do. If you've got any weird traditions that you like doing. Our last weird tradition, which we've not introduced the kids to yet because they're too young, is naked lap. Grown-up rugby players do this. I can't believe I'm going to tell you this. But if you keep a record of all the scorers, and anybody who hasn't scored, this obviously does start at adulthood. It's not appropriate for kids to do it. Anyone who hasn't scored a try in that particular season, a goal, whatever you want to call it, if you don't understand the sport, during the presentation night, you've got to whip your kit off and run around the pitch, completely starkers. And that's a long-standing tradition, but we'll tell them about that when they're 18. They can look forward to that. But anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Please subscribe to the channel. But for now, take care of yourself, and I'll see you soon. Ta-da.